All right, folks, the deck is Renethal Beast Hunter. The goal of the deck is to play a bunch of beasts, point them at our opponent's face until they die. If that fails, we can always take advantage of Stranglethorn Heart with Tundra Rhinos to bash our opponent in the face. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can catch me live at twitch.tv/Roffle. All right, back with some wild today. After I change the format and select the right deck. And back with some old, reliable Beast Hunter. Or at least hopefully reliable. This is apparently a druid.
I will never serve.
Buzzard just seems like an auto keep, right? And then we want to find things that actually complement the buzzard, which would be 1 and lower cost stuff. That said, I think we still just want to get the Tinger in play. Maybe Patchwork Pals behind it into the Harpoon Gun can help sort out the buzzard turns. Okay. I do like extra mana. Especially with that draw. We're just sending a honker upstairs right now. Not sure what that tells me, probably Reno. But what it does tell me is that we're going to want the Stranglethorn Heart ready to go when possible so that we can... It's just dump stuff in case it's a mill deck. But we want this in the Stranglethorn Heart so that we can potentially get some big burst damage after we lose our board several times over. But I've also been seeing ETC in a mill druid deck, so that's why I also want to keep my hand size a little bit light.
Don't mind if I do.
They're drawing. Let's just take our damage here. They need pretty much exactly like gloop seeds.
I will drain you.
All right then. These are all kind of bad. Let's do this. This guy can be quite good if we end up getting board space. Well, that's like only a part of the problem here, Sylvanas. It's also just simply not your turn. But then again, she has no time for games, so maybe that has something to do with it.
Look at that.
That seems unlikely to save them here.
I shall stand down. Is overstuffed.
Okay, so it was like a Reno Dragon deck, I think. And they just weren't able to find what they needed. I didn't realize we were getting packs from the new set already.
Shields up! I will never serve.
Patchwork Pals doesn't feel great on curve against Paladins. I'd rather find something like a Bunny Stomper. Even the Car Canvasor.
I see you've brought guests.
Jungle Gym could be good as well. I just want something that, like, plays into the board. Let's go here. What did you even get? Rush? Okay, maybe this card is terrible.
Your wish is my suggestion.
Seems like a pretty weak Reno. Or Zephyrus, rather. I assume it's probably just a Lightning Storm? Holy Nova? What would it offer in that spot? What? Okay, I'm a big fan of a Wild Growth from Zephyrus, but that did not seem appropriately timed to me. I think there were more pressing matters for this opponent. Alright. Can you clear my board? Probably. He's still a paladin.
The toy store belongs to the Titan.
Okay. Well, that's easy enough. I was gonna have to think there for a moment. But nobody wants that. Thinking in my children's card game? No, thank you. Gross. Yuck. Ugh. Next thing you know, you're going to tell me I have to read or do math.
Sylvanas versus Tyrande.
You give me strength. I will never serve.
Let's keep the Wild Spirits. It's pretty good if it ends up being Shadow Priest.
I see you've brought guests.
It's not Shadow Priest. Dragon Priest. Okay. We can give the Canvasor another chance, maybe? Oh. Okay. Well, maybe this will be good after all. targets again. But we are getting closer to that fella. RC Rampage could be good if we don't get blown out by a Dusky Boy.
I'm starving.
You're kidding. It's the greatest Galaka glutton of all time. I do have a couple of options here. Well, I have several options. I could go here. Trade over these two. I could play the RC Rampage. I could even coin out the Shade Hound. Just to take the ship's cannon off the board. I kind of like this option to potentially draw it into a 1-mana minion. That is not a 1-mana minion. But very critically, it does get the ship's cannon off the board. And this gives me the opportunity to go Bunny Stomper into RC Rampage next turn.
Starting the operation.
And it very critically does not allow me to get blown out by a ship's cannon, which would be brutal. In an ideal world, which seems to be the case, we retain 1 minion on the board here. Cool. So this summons 4 and buffs the hounds by 2. Which seems ideal. You go here. You here. 2 of you here. Here. Maybe this is a little sketch with a needle on the board. But needle's always going to be bad for me. It's going to be a lot worse than I anticipated. I think we still go with the defensive route here for... Actually, do we? Maybe we do, just for one more turn. Bunny Stomper putting in work, though. Did the opponent just, like, forget to put, Benedictus in there? No, they're running the Draconic Studies. Let's just do this trade. That's not how Rush works.
starting the operation. Power flows.
Such skill in one like you.
Honker. Look at that. Quest progress. I'm just going to save myself some time and assume that this is a bot because they consistently are with that hero portrait and no golden hero power. At this MMR at least.
Sylvanas versus Malfurion.
Another druid.
I must protect the wild.
I will never serve.
Kind of like the double 3. Just go 1, coin 3. And then can consider this on like a 4.
Ah, I see you've brought guests.
30 card druid, huh? Yeah, kitty cat. Again, the harpoon gun with the starving buzzard can go kind of wild. That also helps with both the jungle gym and the buzzard.
I can't do that.
That's also a buzzard. Big if true. What I could do is swing, play 0 mana buzzard into wild seeds, play... Oh, they're just going to draw for me? Okay. So what if... simply go this route instead? Just go full damage mode and assume that they draw me my cards for me. Knowing that the heart is at the bottom of my deck is also important because, like, it's safe from getting milled for the foreseeable future, at least. Turn 5 is often the guff turn. See, here's the thing about me. I'm the kind of guy who doesn't care about drawing cards into a mill deck. Pretty crazy, I know. I would love to find something that, like, increases my attack on board, because I'm a little bit afraid of a spreading plague right now. But I do suppose I already knew what my draw was going to be. This helps a little bit, as does the jungle gym in, like, getting through a spreading plague board, if that's what they have here. It's quite the top deck. Shadehound would go obscene right now. Okay, that's actually pretty good too. Wait, that's not the card I thought it was. Alright. Not ideal. What is 8? Tog? I don't think Tog makes sense in a deck like this, though, does it? Geppetto? Also doesn't really make sense, but certainly a possibility. I like the part where they're shuffling at this early stage in the game. In large part because it's a play that is not good. And dilutes their draws for a bit.
You better watch your step and as well.
It's pretty good. So is this. They're going to be attacking into this minion, right? That's... still not how taunt works. Okay, what if we do this, maybe?
You cannot crack my carapace.
We're losing from here? Seems like we might be.
Locked and loaded.
Okay. Guess Crypt Keeper was the 8-mana card that they got. Due process time. That's what I've been waiting for. Okay, that worked out a little bit better than expected. This is seemingly always happening, right? Let's get more information about what we have access to here. Okay, so I want to go wide this turn to try and set up for the cope. Drawing 3 cards, so I might as well develop this now. and they've got 6 idols in their deck, so they're very likely to just brick on idols. Okay. I'm missing the part where that's my problem. There's those idols. Druids, when their strategy of drawing the opponent a bunch of cards backfires. There are consequences to my actions? Since when?
Sylvanas versus Zyrella.
For the light. For my daughter. I will never.
I don't really like this as a keep unless I have the buzzard in hand. Just need to find a 2-mana play, and we're in some serious business right now. Okay, so it's Reno, which is probably less the ideal for me. Like, I think I maybe have a better chance against aggro than I do against Reno. But we do, again, have the capacity to just, like, scam a win with Stranglethorn Heart.
Solves any problem.
Oh, get sniped, idiot. I was just going to be content if one of those hit. It's a buzzard with a harpoon gun in hand. I don't even need to tell you what that means. How does that happen so consistently? Sure. It's just like anytime we have a buzzard with a harpoon gun, we find the other buzzard for free. It's incredible. What if?
I will drain you.
Exclamation point priest moment. I guess I could have taken the Canvasor and actually been able to play that as well.
I'm 7 moves ahead of you.
No, that's some slurp juice. Let's test here. Then unfortunately, I think we do have to test here.
Predictable.
So we can do this. Worst case scenario, we've just got Buzzard into Wild Spirits.
A rampage.
It doesn't seem very strong. Okay, what's the damage? We're at 6-8. Any Timberwolves? Yeah, that's not bad. They need a Reno here. But even a Reno doesn't really solve this.
A Can one like you?
I think they're digging for the Reno.
Is yours.
But it would seem as though they did not find it.
Sylvanas versus Malfurion.
The nightmare shall end.
I will never.
Every day it seems we get a new skin that I've never seen before. And every day we drift further and further from God. As a result of said skins. This might be a coin Patchwork Pals into just like start dumping the companions.
I see you've brought guests.
Look. You don't need me to tell you these pair well together. Or at least you shouldn't by now. If you do need me to, then what's wrong with you? What video have you been watching? Let's just drop the bear out there. Next turn could be the harpoon gun. Okay, so it's not Reno. Could be another mill deck. Spell damage. Okay, here's our second buzzard. It's worth a try. So I assume they heal 8 there. 5. I do not know what this deck is doing. Let's just get all of our companions out there. And assume that we're probably losing this board, which does activate the Shadehound, though.
Tonight, a tale of terrible tragedy.
Oh, am I dead? Now this is something I didn't consider. Yeah, I'm almost certainly dead. At least for Renethal? But I assume this deck like has consideration for Renethal. It said there was no early glue, but
I'm almost out of cards. I'm out of cards.
one more Moonfire, one more Living Roots. Oh, I'm just dead. It's a pretty nifty turn 5, 40 damage. Everyone's favorite gameplay. Do nothing. Magically win.
Sylvanas versus Lorthamar.
You tread down a dark path.
I will never serve.
I just like harpoon gun. And I like having stuff to do in the early game. Spider-Man pointing meme. Theirs could be the mystery egg deck. Pretty clearly explosive. Also pretty clearly nothing I could really do to avoid it.
I will drain you.
Buzzard? Why?
I will drain you.
Finally? Can't wait for these to get obliterated by second explosive trap now. Maybe it's not explosive then? And they're just fishing for the second explosive? Let's go here. Here. Press this button. That's fine.
Light cleanse the foulest waters.
Oh my god. I just want the damage upstairs. Does kind of look like it might be Reno though. So we know that's explosive. And wandering. We know that this is just devastating for me across the board, I guess is the reality here.
Weld it down, lock it up.
Just getting giga scammed a couple games in a row. Alright, gonna be quite difficult to swing this one back. Yeah. Doesn't really do much for me here.
I will drain you.
Need a buzzard. I'm not going to get one in a timely enough manner. Yeah, we just lose from here. We lost the moment the product 9 came down. There's no way I could play around. Like, honestly, it was like 10 mana worth of value. Okay, yeah.
I will drain you.
I think I can't draw into that no matter what. This just dies here. So, GG.
I have endured enough.
Hearthstone players are a unique breed.
Sylvanas versus Valera.
I make my own. I will never serve.
Alright, let's look for early game, especially if it's going to be Pirate Rogue. We want stuff that can contest board. I have found none of it. So we're going to be playing from behind. That was likely the case anyway because we were on the coin. But now it's like just absolutely going to be the case. Assuming it's either of the pirate decks. Alright. Just play a man's here. If it's Miracle, we need to find, like, Acid Maw or Dread Scale. Okay, well, that's dying.
I will drain you.
100% of the time. It's the only thing that actually does something here. Pairs reasonably well with the Bunny Hopper. Now it's probably just the Wild Spirits.
I will drain
Let's
you.
see if there is a buzzard down here. Jeez. Guess that means it doesn't exist in our deck at all. Probably just get a honker down next turn. It's still not great draw. So we haven't Chiefs just absolutely, utterly sniped with the perfect target. It's like it's non-negotiable. They didn't attack. That ship's cannon has to die, which means we have to make a pretty gross play here. But ideally, we'll be able to make up for it when we get the Bunny Stomper turned down next turn. With the Stag and the weapon and one of these two. Potentially a 1-mana card off the top. By God, they've done it. We do get to kill now the second toy boat, which is extremely important. That just eliminates all remaining draw that they have. So we just go here.
I will
This
drain
goes
you.
here. We don't need the extra attack right now. Or do we need this? I'm gonna protect the Bunny Stomper. I think it's pretty important to do so. Just because it would die to a Fillet Fighter pretty easily if we left it at 1 health. And getting it for a second turn could be very meaningful.
Package type for treasure transport.
Blood and plunder.
Now, it still does die to a prize plunder, but not really much I can do about that. It's a pretty ridiculous draw. That is also a big part of why the protecting the Bunny Stomper was so important.
Your wits or your blade? Such skill in one like you. I guess.
By God, we've done it. Deck actually performed reasonably well. Not that that's a surprise. Beast Hunter is always like a sleeper top deck, but people never seem to want to play it. Even though I think it's one of the most fun decks in the format. Thanks for watching, though. I'll see you tomorrow.